Hey guys, welcome to Two Line Slot Cars. Running a little late tonight. I apologize, but I made it. Had a couple of things going on that went just a few minutes longer. All good, no issues or problems. But yeah, it was good. It's been a good day. So just checking in. We should be up and running live. We'll see if we pick up anybody. But yeah, so hopefully everybody survived the holidays here in the United States. Thanksgiving was last week, and my family was in, and we had an opportunity to do some racing as a family. So on Sunday, my dad, that side of the family, came over, and we did some racing. It was fantastic. Had a lot of fun. My sister and my brother were going head to head, and it was a good time. And then we did some racing on Thursday with my wife's side of the family, and my nephews love the slot car track, and so they love to come downstairs, and they didn't even want to eat. They were like, "Uncle Marty, when can we go downstairs?" And so we made them eat first, but then they came down and they played for a while, had a great time. So hopefully this live stream is not too late tonight, so I apologize for being about a half an hour behind schedule, but I appreciate all of you who tune in. So did any of you have a chance to do some racing on your tracks at home, or to go to your public track over the last week or two since we went live? It'd be good to check in and check it out. Good evening. Hey, George. Welcome, Area 51 Raceway in North Carolina. You're still in North Carolina, but you just moved into the new house, right? So, hey, Duval, what's going on? Getting some activity here. So, yep, welcome to the chat, George, Duval Slot. You've been doing some live PlayStation 4, right? Racing. That's been pretty cool to watch. Yeah, sorry, Sunday Slots. I don't know if this is Billy or Amanda. Maybe it's both of you. But yeah, I'm a little late tonight. I apologize. I was hoping to be on by 8:15, but it didn't work out. But it's all good. I can tell my wife is watching the replay of the U.S. men's national team. If you haven't watched that yet, I won't spoil what happened, but it's a good day for the U.S. Hello, welcome, Harry. Welcome to the live stream. Gosh, I got a million questions for you. I'll just to say I love your channel. I really appreciate your tuning videos. I have learned so much. I'm a beginner slot car guy, and so I've learned so much watching your tuning videos, especially all of your Thunder Slot videos. I don't own a Thunder Slot car yet, but I want to buy one really bad because you seem to be able to get them to hook up pretty fast and with minimal effort. Pretty fast cars right out of the box. But I love that style of car. I'm that era, that 60s Le Mans cars. I love them. So welcome. I appreciate you jumping in. Hey, John Mark, when are you coming racing? We need some track time. Hey, Clint, welcome to the live chat. So I don't know what to touch on tonight. I released a video last week on Thanksgiving talking about all the changes to my layout that I'd been talking about on the live stream. So my brother and I finally got a chance to make them happen and did some work on the pit lane on my digital track, and I'm really pleased. We got some laps in over Thanksgiving with the kids, and my kids were in, and my daughters are super, super competitive on the racetrack. And it was a lot of fun. I just kind of managed. I didn't really get a chance to race, but I was watching them race and kind of managing and marshaling and kind of keeping the chaos under control. And it was really fun to watch them and how they handled the changes to the track because we stretched out the track a little bit. The straights are pretty long, and you can really get a lot of speed out of all your cars. So whether it's my Carrera digital cars, you can get to the top end on those pretty quick. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. So that's been fun. It is Amanda. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate you joining the. I enjoyed the video today. Your theme tracks are a lot of fun, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that probably enjoy them just like I do, because they probably played the video games. So thank you for doing that. It's a fun channel. Way to beat Billy. Yeah, take him down. That's Billy. Amanda Louise. Billy is logged in as Amanda. Is that what I'm getting? Hey, Lion Face, welcome, man. Yeah, Harry, I need some thunder. Yes, I am excited about fighting a little focus. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm really interested. I love those cars. So they definitely on my to-do list or my to-purchase list. So I've got a list of about, I don't know, 5 or 10 cars that I'd really like to have. So they're coming, hopefully soon. So I'll definitely post a video, share about it on the live stream if I end up getting one. Yeah, Lineface, welcome. Good afternoon. Lineface, where are you at? If it's afternoon, are you in Australia or because I know afternoon there, it's about 1:30, something like that. Hey, Garth, welcome. Jimbo, welcome to the live stream. Hey, Chris, thanks. There's my brother. What's going on, Dusty? I'm glad you guys are hanging out with us tonight. Just going back to my layout, it's a Carrera digital. We've talked about that a lot on the live stream. I keep looking over here because I can see it. I need a second camera that I can put on the track. So during this live stream, I could actually do some car testing and some sharing some video of the track. I can share some video of the track. I rebuilt the pit lane. One of the complaints that my brother had, this is what I wanted to touch on tonight, and get an idea of what other people who are doing a digital track, what are they doing for their pit lanes. So my brother wanted to do a double pit lane with a crossover so that you wouldn't get trapped. Hey, wait, hang on. Now, George, he doesn't. He has the F1 car. We need to knock him off of the track record with your cars. Don't offer them to my brother. That's funny. So here's a quick video of how we set the pit lane up. And I am open to suggestions if somebody knows maybe a better way to do this. I'm a little limited to space on that front stretch where we want the pit lane, but so let me bring that video in. So you can see I've got a little stretch there just to spread the lane changers out a little bit. And if you take the first lane, you got a little space to fuel, got a crossover, and then you pick up a second fuel light. I would love to put I've got some room there. I think I can maybe move the start-finish line down just a bit into that turn. The only thing I can't figure out is if I move the start-finish line inside the pit lane, I don't know how it keeps track of laps. So if you go into the pits and you don't pick up a lap, as long as it happens to everybody, I guess then you're okay. But I don't know how to count laps inside the pit lane. You probably would need another start-finish line piece maybe, or maybe the fuel eye will act like that. If anybody knows, drop it in the chat. I appreciate it. But that's kind of how that pit lane is. Here's a little action hitting the second pit lane. And then here's some action hitting the first pit lane. So, I don't know if anybody has any recommendations on changes that pit lane. We played with it a little bit the last couple of weeks. It seems to be working pretty good. I don't know, in a race environment that's not family chaos. I don't know. you have 3 fuel lights, but all in the same lane, so you can pick them up. So the only thing with that is the Smart Race would announce every time you go over that fuel light that you were in the pits. Not a big deal, but I don't know. Could get a little annoying. Hey, Alex. I'm glad you could make it too. Okay, Sunny Slots. You don't need an extra start piece to put the start-finish line inside the pits. Just another fuel light, or will a fuel light lane. I'm not calling it the right thing. Would that work? Hey, Mark. Welcome to the live chat. Let's see, line face. On Skeletrix, there is a setting where it counts a lap when you do a pit stop. So I'm sure there will be similar options for Carrera. Yeah, I'll have to do a little bit of research. I tried to read up on it a little bit. Okay, what Sunday said. Very good. So I'll do some research on it and try to figure out so that I don't have to have that start-finish line right going into the turn. I don't want to put it there if I don't have to. So I know we've got some people on the chat tonight that are analog racers, so I don't want to spend the whole time talking about digital track. I'm really curious about analog. I want to build an analog test track. I really would like to get my hands on Polycar, the new 4-lane Polycar starter set, and then maybe build a table that kind of raises above, maybe lower my existing table and then build a smaller table that kind of goes up into the ceiling of the basement. I'm not dealing with a lot of height, but I think I can get it up far enough that racing digital, and then we can drop the table down. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas, but if anybody has a Polycar track, and I think it's really grippy. I guess that's why I'm interested in it. Harry, I know you made yours a routed wood track, and if I had more space, maybe I would consider doing that. I have an attic in this house that I could put another track on, but it's not, like right now it's cold in the winter and it's hot in the summer, so I don't know. Garth, Area 51, I thought you were Area 52 now because he moved to the new track, new house. I will be going analog soon. Yeah, I want to grow my car collection, and I don't really want to buy more Carrera cars. There's a lot of great Carrera cars out there, but I feel like I own the ones that I really like to have. But the cars that I really would like now are all different brands. I would like to pick up some sideways cars. I definitely, like I already talked about Thunderslot. Really would like to get into some of those. Let's see. I have an NSR and a Slotted. I don't own very many cars right now. Early in my collecting. But yeah, I agree, Harry. There's nothing wrong with Carrera. The track record right now is an Audi R8 Carrera, the pink BMT, I think, or BWT livery, and I threw a little Piranha motor in it to give it a little boost, and it's the fastest car I own, mainly because it sticks to the track so well. So yeah, I have no problems with Carrera. I really like the old school F1 cars that Polycar is releasing. You and Dave Kennedy, you guys put out some videos about them. I know that that George, he's bought a handful of those and has been tuning them and playing with them on his track. So I'm excited to get my hands on some of those. So yeah, Sideways, Polycar. There's a couple Pioneer cars. I think that like that 68 Camaro that Pioneer does is an awesome looking slot car. What else? I don't have any 1/24 scale, and with my track I can run 1/24. So I'd really like to get a Carrera 1/24 digital, but then I would like to. Yeah. Yep. Again. Yeah. Erda, I do have interest in 1/24 scale. I know there's some guys that do scratch building that are in the chat, and I think that hey Tim, welcome man. Good to have you back this week. But yeah, going back to the 124th scale, I'm interested. I'm interested in maybe getting into some scratch building down the road. That's down the road. I have so much still to learn about tuning just a regular car, a Carrera car, and making them better on the track. So yeah, yeah. My brother, we've talked a lot about this. We'd like to get into some scratch building. Um, yep, nice model. Yeah, yeah, Garth, I agree. My nephew showed up. I should grab them and show them. My nephew showed up on Thanksgiving Day, and somebody had given him some slot cars. He went back to work and said, "Hey, my uncle has this slot car track in his basement," and the guy was like, "Oh, I've got something to give you," and he gave me some old slot cars. One's actually still ran. The other one it looks like a drag car. I'll grab them maybe here in a minute and show them. And very interesting to see how the cars I would say that these are cars from the 60s, pretty rudimentary, like aluminum chassis, maybe brass chassis on the one. I'm sure that they're not top performers, but they definitely look cool. It was very cool to see. Yeah, you're talking about the old school F1 cars. Yeah, they are really cool. They look great. I think Polycar nailed the detail. Um, and I one thing, Harry, I'll mention that you say all the time, like there are guys that complain about the detail in some of these models, and I don't get too upset about that either. Every time I get a new slot car, I love the fact that there are lots of companies out there making some great cars that perform pretty well, just right out of the box. So if they're missing an emblem or little things like that, I don't get too upset about that. Um, Mostly because most of that stuff I'll probably break off playing with the cars because I'm not really a collector. If I'm going to own a car, I'm probably going to open the box. It's probably not going to sit on the shelf. I'm probably going to tune it and get some laps in. So, but yeah, those are great cars. BRM, yeah, yeah. Tim talks about he's wanting to get into scratch building. Tim, I watched your video from maybe yesterday, where you are scratch building and you were running it on your track, the chassis. So that's cool. Yeah, George, BRM is that? Do they do 124 scale? Right. That's they've got some really good looking. So De Leon, you have the Pioneer, the Camaro. Yeah, that's a cool looking. That's a cool looking car. They did a really good job on that car, and I think the Mustang, the Pioneer Mustang, is a great looking model too. Great detail. They they did the body right. The lines are right. The scale is right. So Harry says that scratch building is the ultimate for us. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's probably why I want to build. I would like to build a 4-lane analog track because I still love the fact that I'm not racing by myself. I mean, I do, practice down here every once in a while, but I love when my buddy John Mark and my brother are both on the chat when they come over and we race on a Sunday evening. I love that. And if I have an analog track, I would really like 3 or 4 lanes. I just love that Polycar has got that starter set. I'm waiting for it to start shipping. I actually sent them a message on Facebook and said, "Hey, if you're interested in somebody testing it, I would love to do a video about it." They asked me where I was at, but I have not heard back from them, so I'm guessing that that's not going to happen. I don't have that much influence at this point yet, but I'm getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. So thanks. I really appreciate everybody who gives me a thumbs up and likes my stuff. So I really appreciate it. That's been great. Chris, we are analog here. The car collection has gotten way large to consider. Way too large to consider. Your collection's gotten way too large to consider digital. Yeah, I get that. And let's be honest. I mean, it gets expensive running digital when every time you buy a new car, you got to buy a chip and then you got to work on it. You got to solder the chip in, and you know, that's not that big of a deal. But I mean, it's $42 plus shipping every time you want to do that. So you pretty much double the price of a, um, you know, of a car. So personally, I just get the Omnibox, so you only need one track for your analog and digital. Yeah, I've thought about the Omnibox. I've talked to George about the tech slot box as well. I think that's what you're running Sunday, Amanda. Sorry, I think that's what you got. I think I've seen that in your video, your track at your store. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to do it. But there's something about it would be nice to have another layout that's dedicated to analog. My next purchase is I have to order a power supply because right now I could not run 124 scale because I just don't have the power supply for it. So my next purchase, which I'll probably order it tomorrow, is a new power supply. I do have some questions about where you should run the power supply based on the scale. You know, at what voltage should you run? What amperage you should set that on. So once I get the new power supply, maybe that'll be something we talk about in the live chat or in the live stream. So let's see where we at. We do 1/25th scale models for scratch building. Yeah, 1/24th scale, 1/25th scale. Most I think model kits are 1/25th scale. I built a lot of models as a kid. My brother and I always had them on display, and I got a box full of them in my attic. That I really, I think some of it would make some really cool slot cars to build a chassis to put underneath of them, and that would be fun. Yeah, the 1/25th scale is more availability. Yeah, I get it. Not a lot of 1/32nd scale models out there, I'm guessing. What series of cars do other folks like to run? The local club in Calgary likes to run Can-Am, Group C, Group 5, and Carrera DTM. Alex, that I'm not a part of a club, so we don't really run classes here. We tend to, when we do gather and race, and there's 4 or 5 of us, we usually just race Carrera so that we can keep the cars fairly consistent, so that everybody has a chance of winning. If you can keep the car on the track and drive really well, you've got a chance of winning a race. So we try to be consistent. So we try to race in brand. So I don't usually throw my NSR car out there and race against the Carreras or my slotted cars. We don't usually do that. But I think that from a class standpoint, I know like Group C is really popular. That's basically what they ran for the USA Nationals, that Electric Dreams put together with Slotted, and so I think that's a pretty popular. Can-Am. I love the old Can-Am stuff. I would definitely be interested in running that class if that was locally. And then the Carrera DTM, I think it's because you've got a lot of choices, lots of different DTM cars available through Carrera, lots of different liveries. So, you don't show up to the track and have, 10 of the same car if you're running DTM. So I think that's probably a pretty popular class. Group 5 would be like, it's like BMWs and that. I guess I'm not familiar with what Group 5 is. So Polycar did well executing the models. Nothing is perfect. Yeah, and I honestly I don't have an expectation that the cars be perfect, right? I love for them to perform well, that they're close, right? They don't have to be perfect, mostly because I'm probably going to tear something up. Like every car that I own that has a wing on it has been broken off. So I don't get too worked up about that. But that's a great point, Harry. Thanks. Rivet counters, we call them. Sunday slot nailed it. Yeah, thanks, Tim. Ask yourself, when I pull the trigger, can I see it? Yeah, you're right. Can you see the detail? They're going so fast, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Dusty is. I don't care about drivers and cars. Now, I had to take the interior out of my GT40, my slotted GT40, and that's basically pulling the driver out of the car, so I had room for the digital chip. I was disappointed that I had to do that. That was the only way I could make room for that chip. But yeah, I don't get hung up if they don't have, you know, they don't have interior or drivers. They're slot cars. Um, where are we at? Yeah, Pioneer are nice. Um, Chris was giving his dad Strombecker slot car set, and I remember playing with it as a kid. Um, I think that's probably how we all got started in this. I think I've told my story before that for Christmas, Santa Claus brought me a TCR, the Total Control Racing, where it was a slotless slot car track where you could change lanes. I loved that. My brother and I wore all three cars that it came with out. The track was toast after we were done. We just played with it so much, and it was one of those things where we would usually get it out every Christmas. And then one year, my mom, as a joke, when we were like young adults in our 20s, my mom got us a slot car track. I think the only time we played with it was at Christmas time for a couple of years. We would set it up, and it was an HO scale. But yeah, man, I appreciate how people get into the hobby. Yes, it's wider than a Mustang. That you must be talking about the Pioneer Camaro. If you really want to try grippy track, Scale Auto is grippy like Polycar, but has Carrera adapter pieces. You could include some in your current layout. Good to know. I did not know that. I'll check into Scale Auto. I would guess that might be tough to find in the States. I don't know. I don't know anything about Scale Auto. But I'll do some research on that. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, you have a solution for me. I appreciate that, George. Yeah, we'll have to talk offline about that. Let's see. I love mine. Area 51 had a couple months loving it. Nothing is more fun than a side-by-side action. That would be a nice set. Yeah, I agree. You're addicted now, TNT. No turning back. Yeah, thanks. I am shocked, to be honest with you. Just to touch on the channel, I started this channel because I kind of wanted to journal my growth of knowledge as a beginner in the slot car. When I jump into a hobby, I jump in with both feet. My brother can attest to that. He's witnessed it my whole life. And if I like it, I'm all in. And I felt like this was a hobby that wasn't just going to last for a couple days or a couple months. And I really wanted it to grow. So that's why I started posting videos about it. And honestly, I didn't expect the channel to grow. There's not a lot of great big slot car channels out there, but there's some great channels. And so I'm appreciative of what content is out there. And I feel like there's a lot more content to create. I think there's plenty of room for lots of great voices in the hobby. So, and I appreciate some of them that are on here on the live stream. The support is great, and I just really appreciate it. Let me look at what I'm missing. Let's see, saying in English. The Browns is the Browns. The slot cars is slot cars. Yeah, Garth. I agree. Yeah, slot cars are slot cars. They're toys, and I get trolled all the time on YouTube, making fun, fools and their money. But I'm enjoying this. This hobby has been fantastic. I'm not quite a year in. I'll be a year sometime in February, March. I got my starter set. I haven't looked back, and my layout looks the way it does because John Mark and Dusty have chipped in and added track and bought, and so we've kind of jointly built this track, and it's the layout's fantastic. I love it. 10 volts for analog. Okay. So yeah, I'll need to figure that out when the new power supply gets here. So I'll definitely make a video about cutting the plug off of the Carrera power supply and soldering that um, to make a new cable for the new power supply, and then doing some tests on voltage. Because you can control the speed in the computer with the Carrera Digital, right? So I don't really need a variable power supply, except for if I want to do 124 scale. Why have two cars when 100 plus will do? That's right. As your wife gives you the big eye roll every time a small box arrives. I get the same thing, be honest with you. Let's see what else. Jimbo has a Carrera Digital track with a tech slot. I have more analog cars than digital. Yeah, I think most guys probably do. They started in analog and then maybe jumped to digital later. And I mean, the cost of the chips, I think it prevents, the digital growing. You have to have it to race digital. I enjoy my track racing digital, but there's definitely some advantages. I think if I had to do over again, I would probably still do the same thing because it's allowed, lots of people to participate at once. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in figuring out a way to not have to chip every car that I buy. I get paid in cash for most in-person purchases, so people's wives don't find out. That's the best comment I've read in the chat. That's great. I run whatever I can win with. So yeah, I would say I hate to admit this, but Dusty is probably the top driver on my layout on Two Lines Speedway. So he's won the last few races, and so right now, although I do have the track record right now with the Audi until you bring the Formula One car. Hey Dave, welcome to the live stream, man. That's funny. I'm using my radio voice, Dave. So, hey, thanks for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot that you would jump in here and join in the conversation. I'm just kind of answering questions and just reading through people's comments and responding to those. I don't have a second camera, so I can't show my track, although I do have some footage that I can pop up. But the conversation right now is talking about like cars and digital analog, some things like that. I was talking about how I've got my track is digital, Carrera Digital, but I really would like to build a 4-lane polycar analog track so I don't have to chip every car, because I'd really like to grow my car collection, and most of the cars I want are small brand cars, Slotted and NSR and BRM and Pioneer, and so I've got a long list of cars I'd like to get. So, but yeah, Dave, thanks, man. Thanks for jumping. Tons of Group 5 cars from Sideways. So I'm just catching up to these comments. So Group 5, help me out. What are Group 5 cars? All right. Thanks, Dusty. I appreciate that. Loves to hear himself talk. Well, you kind of have to, to be able to do YouTube content, you've got to not be afraid to talk. I've never shied away from attention. How's that? Yeah, you wore out your Tyco slotless set too. Yeah, man. The TCR track was probably ahead of its time. I loved that track. We had so much fun, and we never got any like extra track pieces to expand that track. It came with kind of it was the set that I got was the glow in the dark. So it came with an orange and green. Oh man, I'm trying to remember what model cars those were, and then the ghost car, that the third car that came in the set that you would pass was maybe a Corvette. It may have been the 1980 or 81 Indy 500 pace car, maybe the two-tone silver, if I remember right. I'm forgetting now, but yeah, people race whatever on your store track. Not an Omnibox though. The box is a track called Buttons. No silicone tires though. Yeah, so you run rubber tires only on your track. Makes sense. Yeah, because the silicone will just pick up all the rubber off of it. So yes, only Alan Smith has scale auto track. Very hard to find here, I think. Yeah, I would agree. I've done a lot of research on tons of different types of tracks, and I don't know a lot about the scale auto, so I was guessing that it was probably pretty hard to get. Man, I'm behind on some of these comments. Does anyone know if you can have a digital and analog track piece in a layout and switch from one to another? So, Alex, there are lots of videos on YouTube out there that talk about the tech slot box, which will switch your digital track to analog. And then there's another box called the Omni box that will do the same thing. I think there are some things that you need to do with your lane changers, though. So you have to kind of be careful. I think you have to do some rewiring of your lane changers so that they will work when you're in analog mode. Here, Dave looks like he says something about you can switch from digital to analog without taking out the digital pieces. The pieces of track that are digital cannot stay in when you do analog. Yeah, so you could easily just swap out the power unit, like for Carrera, and buy a digital computer for Carrera. But if you swap back to the analog, you'd have to pull your digital pieces out. Yeah, that makes sense. That's funny. Way to go, Dusty. Tim, don't encourage him. Don't encourage my brother. Garth, yeah, you guys are jumping on the bandwagon, I see. He won't keep the record that long. Yeah, thanks, man. No worries. You can have hybrid Carrera digital analog track with Omnibox systems. Sorry for the confusion on the last post. Yeah, no worries. I'm aware of that device. I have multiple unopened sets, one of which is analog. Thought I could put the power supply from the set in and switch the power from one to another. Yeah, you can do it, but it will damage the digital pieces. Yeah, I've had multiple people on the live stream warn me of that. That you would have to make some changes to your digital pieces to be able to handle that. Just because you have something that you can do analog digital doesn't mean that lane changes and digital pieces can be used without being undamaged. Yeah, that all makes sense. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the knowledge, man. Yeah, we did have a lot of fun with that old track. I don't know. Do most guys start with HO tracks as kids and then grow into the 1/32 scale? Is that how most of you got started? Let's see here. I'm skipping down to the bottom. There's been a lot of comments. I'm not keeping up. Sorry, guys. Polycar will be releasing more digital stuff soon. Yeah, Dave, I saw that they posted a lane changer on their Facebook page, maybe. I was curious to know, so I know that before the pandemic they were working on digital, and it just kind of got quiet, I guess, because of the pandemic. And so it was cool to maybe see that they're working on something. So that's cool that they'll be releasing more stuff soon. I'm curious to know how the tech slot device works internally. I thought the last time I looked at it, they were sold out. Yeah, Alex, I think that the pandemic was hard for them, and to supply and chips there's a shortage of chips, and so I think that's been the difficult thing for tech slot. I don't know that for a fact, but I get the sense that in some of the things I've read on some message boards and in other videos that stock it's been tough to get them. Just like tire truers. Dave, you in your news you announced that they're releasing a tire truer, and I think who makes a tire truer? Like it's hard to find. Um, it's hard to find those out there. I would love to own and to be able to true our tires, but Slot Car Corner I guess is getting ready to release one. It should start shipping soon. So I mean that's my hope is the fact that they start shipping those soon, and I'll order one of those. I don't know exactly what company it is. Is it Slot Car Corner brand? I don't remember from your news, Dave, but you talked about that last week. Yeah, Tim, you're talking about the tech slot. It's chipping the lanes. There was a YouTube video out there, and I cannot find it. I do not know who posted it, where somebody basically built their own tech slot box using a couple of Carrera digital chips out of cars. Chips will mostly be out of stock until next year. I was told by Scalextrics they will have that issue. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, you shut things down for almost a year or 6 months anyway. Supply chain issues, things aren't getting produced. Things are stuck on ships out in the harbor. So, yeah, you got lots of 132 decoders if people need them. That's good to know. Good to know. Sunday Slots, you can always post your, feel free to post your link to your store and share that if you want. Okay, CG Slot Cars, that's the tire truer, George. Yep, thanks. Yeah, I definitely will order one. I've been looking for one since I started building the track, because that was the first thing I noticed, that when people were tuning cars, the first thing they do would be true the tires. So I've realized pretty early on that that's an important piece to having a top performing car and a fast car, something that handles in the turns. So I was like, I got to get a tire truer, and was not able to find one anywhere. No used. Couldn't find them on eBay. I was looking for used ones. Couldn't find them anywhere. But they definitely. So we kind of switched to silicone tires on my track in the short term, because the silicone tires seem to be pretty true right out of the box, and I've noticed that they perform really well. So we didn't get too hung up on getting a tire truer, but yeah, it would be great to be able to true our own tires. So it was carry on the conversation with what you can do with digital and analog. Straights and curves are the same for analog piece, with lane changers are digital. Yeah, so like I have in my layout, I have 7 lane changers. So if I was just going to swap out, I would have to pull all 7 of those lane changers out, put straight pieces back in, and go from there, which would not be that difficult. So if I was running a club, I could swap that stuff out and run analog. But I think for the cost of a tech slot box, if you can find one and get one, you probably would be wise to go that route. In the long run, it would just make life a lot easier. Let's see, Ronin Hobbies. I can't find one either. They sell out fast. You're talking about a tire truer, I'm guessing. So, or the tech slot box. But yeah, I'm always looking for a tire truer, and so it was good news when Dave announced that they were. Yes, quick slicks are made to a very high tolerance for quality and roundness. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, we use quick slicks. We are close. I live in Chillicothe, Ohio, so I'm not too far from you, Dave. I think I'm probably 4 hours from you. I don't know exactly where you're at in Pennsylvania, but so I'm close to Cincy Slots, and I know they are like super tires people down there. They really support that brand. But I've heard good things about them. But yeah, Quick Slicks. Every time I buy a set of Quick Slicks, yeah, they always put them on the car. Car's performance improves by half a second a lap without doing anything else to the car. Let's see, Mark. So slot cars, you could convert back and forth between digital and analog on the same track by substituting the analog digital CUs, etc. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been talking about, how there's some danger in doing that with your digital pieces. So there's a lot of information in the talk, in the chat. I had to give thanks to Dave Kennedy for introducing me to Polycar. It is great. There you go. Asher University. Yeah, I mean, Dave's a great voice in the hobby. I'll be honest with you. It's one of the first channels I found. And I started religiously watching on Fridays for the news because I was like, there's actually slot car news. There's actually enough exciting things happening in the hobby that somebody could post news every Friday, and Dave never lets me down. I find out when all the new cars are coming out and when things are starting to ship. It is a great channel for that, and I appreciate him as well. So I watched a handful of his videos early on when I was trying to decide whether I was going to be, I knew I wanted to do digital, but I was trying to decide between Carrera and Scalextrics. And you posted a video about the size difference between the three, those two and Polycar. And I thought that was a great video of like, how much room do you have and how much room do you have to build your layout, and understanding the curve radiuses. And that was one of the best videos I watched in the beginning to help me make a decision about how much room I had to build a table and how big my layout could be and what I was going to use. So, hey, Raul, welcome, man. Good to have you. We were a little late tonight too, so I was a little late. I like to come on at 8, and I had a thing at 7, and it ran over a few minutes, and it was great. It was not a problem, but I didn't end up going live until 8:30. So, yeah, Dave, definitely, man. I would love to. It would be great to meet up and grab dinner and talk shop. If you would ever be up for that, we could work something out. It'd be great to meet you in person. And then let's see. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the offer for thumbs up. It definitely helps out. Hit the like and subscribe. Get the bell so that you get notified anytime I post out there. But yeah, if you're not following Slot Car News' channel, you're missing out. So Dave, did you post a video about the box you got yesterday? I haven't. I had a crazy busy day at work, and I did not get to check on anything on my lunch hour like I usually do. So let's see, Jimbo, not true. I just need to remove a few jumper wires in the lane change pieces to. Okay. Yeah, I've read that where you can just to be able to isolate the lanes. So you have to make some changes to your lane changers. So you wouldn't have to pull them out, but the space issue is one of the major concerns. Basically, you can't make a wrong decision now on track because all track is okay to buy. Yeah, I love my Carrera track. I think I made the right decision. Again, I am really curious. The Polycar is super grippy, and if I didn't have to replace tires and just run the stock tires as long as I had a tire truer, I would do that. And that would be great. John Mark, road trip. Yeah. We'll go hang out with Dave for the day. Dave's a busy guy though. The newspaper keeps him really busy. And props to your lighting, man. I'm enjoying the videos. The lighting is a big thing and was a big change, and it's great. So it's an SRC prototype 919 Porsche. Yeah, I saw the pic on, must have been on Facebook or Instagram. Um, and then it was a non-working prototype, right? And then you sacrificed another car to make it a working prototype. So I'm excited to see that video on that. Yeah, man, I love Dave's videos too. It's super informative. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And earlier, Harry Wise was on here, and if I'm not sure how to, the FJ 1200 rider, all Yamaha. Gotcha. I'm tracking now. Go follow Harry's channel, man. You want to talk about informative videos about tuning cars. You got another light today? Did you get another ring light, or I know you were wanting something for when you do close-ups with your cars. So that's what you mentioned on Sunday, your live stream. Yeah, I agree. Dave creates great content, important content for the hobby. I think that YouTube is a great place for information. It's probably the world's largest search engine, so and social media network, and it's important to have great content. I mean, there's a lot of content out there. There's not a lot of great content that are voices. There's lots of footage, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos that are footage of people racing slot cars. I love that kind of footage, but I really enjoy people talking about the hobby and how to improve, and that are trying to teach me something. Those are really important to me. So, yeah, Dave. So I use Ecamm Live for my streaming software, and I can send out a link, and at any time you would ever want to jump on with me and discuss. I had Travis on a couple weeks ago. It worked out great. I tried to bring George on from Area 51 and Raul from Conquest on a few others, and I had some sound issues, and it was on my end, and I finally figured it out. So so I can always send you a link, and you can jump on and share with us. So let's talk about that offline sometime, and I would love to have you jump on and share. So I mean, lots of great questions. You're doing an awesome job answering them in the live chat, so I appreciate it. Yeah, man, that would be great. I don't know how long we've been on. 9:22. Gosh, almost been an hour. This has gone by. Yeah, his slot burger car, and you're searching for his Legends cars. Yeah, he does a lot of scratch building, which is just really interesting stuff for me. Yeah, I know you. Well, see, it wasn't your fault, George. It was my fault. I had a setting messed up in my soundboard that I'm using. I'm using a Rodecaster Pro, and it will do multi tracking, and I needed to be on stereo because it was feeding the USB back in and creating a feedback loop. Oh, wait, hang on. I missed it. You designed that car? Which car? I missed that. Just got a new PTZ camera to test for video. Nice. Little pin tilt zoom going on. Yeah, that'll be great. Go for 2 hours for any special edition. I don't know if anybody wants to listen to me that long. Yeah, I know, George. Hey, dude, good choice on the iMac. It does have a great webcam. Can't go wrong with the iMac. I'm a Mac guy myself, and it makes it really easy to stream. So that's the slot burger car. Very good. Okay, I was curious to know what car you had designed. Is that when you were were you at Carrera when you did that, or is this just like you designed it just as part of the hobby in your spare time? Like I always like to throw this question out, like what what cars are people enjoying on their track right now? Because I'm always curious to know. Um, Dave, you do a great job of sharing that. You with your relationship with LEB, who, by the way, like phenomenal customer service from LEB. I really enjoy, probably because of their location. I can place an order and usually it shows up the next day or the day after. Uh, they always do a great job of fulfilling and ship out super. When you were at SCX, cool. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not familiar with that car, so I'll have to check it out. So SCX, they do a lot of like rally cars, right? Rally slot cars. Here in Chillicothe, where I'm at, there is a every summer for the last 5 years or so, they've sponsored a road rally through our state forests, and it's amazing. Like Travis Pastrana and Ken Block have come the last 3 years, and it's been awesome. I think I posted a picture or a video on a short with Ken Block, and I think Ken Block, the Hoonigan cars that they've been doing, like the Pikes Peak car, and they just, I think they would make amazing slot cars. And so I like, if SCX already has a relationship with him, because I know that they've done a couple of his rally cars, it would be really cool for them to pick up the Hoonigan cars that he's building now, like the Audi Quattro, and I forget what he's got nicknames for all of them. That Mustang. I found a channel that did that Mustang in Legos, which was really pretty cool. So yeah, we had a Rally America events locally too. It's amazing. Yeah, so the rally we have here, it has grown to be one of the largest in the country. The organizer is a really good friend of mine. I've known for years, Jeremiah Johnson, and he's really grown. He and his team have done an amazing job of growing the road rally. It's really becoming popular around here. So now a lot of guys locally are building cars and running the rally when they can. Have gotten into it just because we host it, and they love racing here because the roads are amazing and they're very technical. And so a lot of the Hoonicorn Mustang. Yes, that would be an amazing slot car. I like, yeah, the Hoon Pig. Yeah, Dusty. Yeah, that's the one that looks like the pink pig, only it's slammed on the ground, and that would be amazing slot car. So I don't know. I mean, I think SCX already had a relationship with Ken Block, maybe, or maybe it was with Monster. I think that was one of the sponsors on that slot car I saw. You want the Hooney Audi? Yeah, that car's bad. Roll. That's yeah. I was at SEMA a couple weeks ago, and I got to see the Mustang, the Hoonicorn. I have footage of it. I sent my brother Dusty a video. It's pretty wild. And there was another one. The Pins. They did a car for Pennzoil, and they pulled that in the parking lot while we were outside, and it was wild. But I don't remember what it was. It felt like it was like a truck, like it had a truck bed. But I do know it was a Pennzoil sponsored car, but it was a Hoonigan car. I think I've got some pictures and maybe video of it too. But I think those would be amazing cars. You know, when you talk about like popular slot cars, a lot of people love the like the old Can-Am stuff, which I do. And I love the Ferraris, and I'm a big Porsche guy. I love Porsches, but I think you want to get a younger audience into slot cars. Like doing some of the stuff that is super popular now would be fantastic. Honestly, you don't. Okay, great. You don't know if they had a relationship. I think they just did the car. Spain is like Wild West of legalities for licensing. Okay, fair enough. So I was going to buy one and bring it to the road rally and have Ken Block sign it, but then he probably would have gotten mad that he was signing a car that he didn't have a licensing agreement on. So wonder who we could who could we get to make? Maybe we just scratch build one. Maybe they'll make a model kit and we can scratch build one. So come race with me at Cincy Slots. So man, the Yamaha FJ 1200 rider. I have a million questions for you. I've watched the live streams of the races, and I'm just really curious on how they run a digital night. Because what I run into with my track is I use Smart Race, and if you use Smart Race to organize the race, then you have to, like, it moves people from controller to controller, and it changes cars, and you have to, like, every time somebody moves, you have to reprogram. It becomes kind of a pain in the butt. And so I'm curious to know how a racetrack or a club would run. So I have lots of questions for you, but you're right. Maybe I just need to come down on a Thursday and watch a race, because I will tell you that you guys would blow me out of the water. I'm not a very good driver yet. So, but that would be great. Overdrive Shop, Tire Truer is great. Yeah, I'm curious. Raul, you said you picked up some of the new MR slot car models, the Ferraris. Is that right? Is that what they are? I feel like there's like 3 or 4 liveries that they just released. Have you done a test on those yet? Are you creating a video to release on those? I know you'd mentioned that you'd picked up some. I'm really curious about that car. And Dave, you on your news, you had talked about the Shadow. And I remember that car as a kid, how awesome I thought that car was. And so I'm excited about that model when it releases. The Mario Kart slot cars will sell, but because of the Mario movie. Okay. Sunday slots, I'm not going to fall for the Mario Kart trick again. Let's see, what controllers are you getting? The PM controllers, okay. We were wanting to go watch racing there sometime. Yeah, definitely. We need to take a road trip down to Cincy Slots and catch a Thursday night race night. I'm looking at my schedule. Gosh, I might be able to do that this week. So what classes are running this week? I know they do by the month, I think. They only run certain classes for a month, and then they move to another one. Mario Karts by Carrera have sold well for more than 10 years. They were the biggest selling for Carrera the entire time I worked there. We sold over 100,000 sets of Mario Kart. Wow, that's impressive. 1 analog and 1 digital every week. Okay, that makes sense. And then does he use a tech slot box to switch from digital to analog? I want a couple PM controllers. Yeah, Tim, you talked about, didn't you just add a DeFalco controller to your setup? You have an Omnibox, right? Let's see, what else? We sold out of Mario Karts before they were even released. I put in a second order. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Mario's popular everywhere. I still love to play Mario. I'm probably too old to play Mario, but I still play. I still like to play it. I've been asking MR about updates on the Shadow. Nothing yet. I noticed that Slot Car Corner has it for pre-sale. I noticed that yesterday. So I'm curious to know if that means it's getting closer for the Shadow. But they just did release like 4 liveries of a car that all look really, really good. So I've not seen one of those in person, but they look like they have great detail. And then Raul has talked about how they perform really well. What are we not ready for, Dusty? To race down there? Yeah. Yeah, we would be an embarrassment probably. They would be marshaling all night long. They would get tired of putting our car back in the slot. you have grandkids, so you can get away with it. I don't have grandkids yet. My oldest daughter got married this June. I'm guessing it's going to be a few years before grandkids come around, but that's all right. No, I'm in no hurry for that. I'm in no hurry to be a grandpa. Let's see. Carrera released Sonic the Hedgehog RCs this year. I'm hoping that's a 132nd slot car. I could see that. I mean, I would. It would be popular like Mario, right? If they created a set that was based on Sonic. Yeah, that makes sense. There are only 4 dealers in the U.S. able to carry MR slots. He limits who he sells to. Yeah, I think that he's in Canada, right? So you have to deal with customs and getting cars over here, and that. I mean, I could see where that would be a problem. Let's see what else we got. Professor Motor, Electric Dreams, Cloverleaf, and those are Slot Car Corner. Those are the ones that sell MR slots. Yeah, I think you're right. Just doing a little research on where to pick up one. I mean, I've got a list of cars that I want to buy because I want to test them on the track. I just want to have fun with them, and they're cars that I love from all the different manufacturers. Like Sideways, I want that Nissan, the Pennzoil Nissan. That is a great looking car. So like that's one from Sideways that I want. And then there's a Revo slot that I really like to have. I think are cool. I think the Abarths, the one you just did a video on them, Dave, not too long ago. They're not Fiats. Are they Fiats? I can't remember. I think those look cool. Those are great looking cars. Dave, I've told you this before. My favorite car and my favorite picture of a slot car is the NSR 908 track shot that you posted a long time ago. That is a really cool picture. I love it. So I had to buy that car because of that. So there you go. LEB influencer extraordinaire Dave has caused me to buy a couple of cars from you, the 908 3 NSR and the slotted GT40, the white number 19. Those are great stuff. So, see, Chris, thanks to Dave, I learned about MR slot car and was able to pick up one. Yeah, the Jaguar is a good looking car. Very, very nice and fast. Yeah, I think that, it's the MR slot car stuff looks like pure racing. The chassis and the way the car is put together, it's made to go fast for sure. Yeah, the 908 is just, it's a classic car. I love the lines. I love the fins. I love like in real life the sound. It's incredible. It's a great car, and it is a fast slot car. On my track, it performs fantastic. I put a set of quick slicks on it. I put a slot invasion guide on it, and it moves. It performs really, really well. So my goal is to have most of the liveries in that car. It's really the only car that I've wanted multiple versions of the same car at this point. So they're great. Yeah, MR's high quality stuff. You don't have any yet. Dave, you have a lot of cars, and you don't have an MR slot car yet. I think you need to be. I think you need to make that happen. Yeah. So George, that's a great question. The Jagermeister 917. Is this the 17 the 10 that NSR has? That's a cool looking Porsche. It's a little longer than the 908, so I'm curious to know how it performs. Like an old school bathtub, Gerard. Hey, it doesn't drive like a bathtub. It flies. It is if you want a fast car, and it's super smooth. It is fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, I know, Raul. We've talked about you racing at Ernie's, um, and then he's put together like a class that is fun competition, but not too crazy serious. I think that's important. The last thing I want to do is be at a track where guys are yelling and screaming, and um, yeah, that doesn't sound fun to me. Although I'm an intense guy, like I'm competitive, but um, yeah, I usually keep it under control. Not that. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, Dusty, it's a cool car. The 917 short tail. Yeah, those are cool, man. The K model. Okay. Yeah, that I'm a Porsche fan. I've always loved Porsches. So Tim, the 908 is your track record holder. That's cool. Yeah, it was mine for a little while, and then my brother brought two Formula One cars, and his red Ferrari crushed the track record. Yeah, I watched your video, Raul. Yeah, the 908 it's a great performing car, and I don't know if it's the short wheelbase that makes it. It just doesn't. It has great rear grip. It doesn't drift too bad. It stays locked in the slot most of the time. If I miss my braking point, then I can throw it out of the slot. But I'm in a curve, but it really does perform well. Your nine, wow, you have a 30K in your 908. See, I just have the standard. What is it, 21.5 that comes with it, and that is plenty of motor. The Mosler comes with a 25K, and we haven't been able to get the NSR Mosler to perform well on the track yet. We need to spend some more time tuning it. I can tell that but it's got a 25K motor, and it's just like it's almost too much motor for this track. Put a bigger motor in it. I got to be able to drive it. If it's got too much power, I'm not a great driver yet. So I've got a lot to learn. Yes, my brother is a pot stirrer. George, if you ever meet him in person, you'll find that out really quick. That's what I love about him. Yeah, Dusty and I we lived in the same bedroom our whole lives until I moved out at 20. So yeah, we shared a bedroom for a long time. Probably the first 15 or 16 years of his life. So he probably hated me for a long time because of that. You are accurate with that. Well, we've gone like an hour and 15 minutes. This has been fantastic. I really appreciate everybody jumping on. I don't know. I asked the question earlier. Like the 908 sounds like a really popular car. I think the NSR cars are fantastic. Yeah, those stone walls are brutal. Yeah, if you can see, like, this is what my basement is. It's old field stone, like limestone, and if you fly off the track and hit them, most of the pieces are broken off of my NSR and my Porsche 917K, my Carrera, which is my favorite Carrera car that I have. Mainly come bouncing off the concrete floor and the walls. So, yeah, that's been fun. You need to try to slot it Ferrari. You think it's smoother than the 910? Let's see. I really like the Policar, the new Ferrari that they put out not too long ago. That's a great looking car. And I just bought a Ferrari 533 Lego set the other day at Sam's Club, and put it together and put it on my desk at work. So that was kind of fun. So yeah, I'm a Ferrari guy. I like all the old school stuff. No catch fences. So I added borders to most of the corners, and then I've got some fencing around that. But there are a couple places that if you come flying off that you could leave the table. I don't have catch fences, so probably should do that. We have a broken found box. Yeah, I've got a pile of little plastic parts in the middle of the table. So if you're missing mirrors off your Carrera cars, or um, yeah, usually find them there. Um, you have a Scale Auto Viper with a 50K motor. I can't even imagine. I mean, you probably don't use that on your home set. Raul, I couldn't imagine a 50K motor on your test track, but you probably use that for your when you're wood track racing, right? Which would make sense. Yeah, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that, man. Um, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy just the conversation. Again, I have the ability to bring some people on, so um, I want to bring George on from Area 51. I want to bring Raul back on, talk a little bit about their tracks. And that Dave, he jumped on tonight. Harry, I don't know if he would ever be interested in jumping on and talking. I think that all these people have a lot of knowledge to share, and I think as you share more knowledge, then the hobby grows and people are more competitive and they have more fun. I think you're able to get your car to go faster. Find out about things that you didn't know about the sport or the hobby. Those are all great things. So you race it at Ernie's. Gotcha. So yeah, I really appreciate it. So let's wrap up for tonight. This has been fantastic. We'll do it again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. That's the normal time, and we'll try to stay with the normal time. And maybe we can bring somebody on this week now that I got that figured out, or next week, and have some fun conversation. So guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and have fun racing. Yeah, Duvall, man, thanks. Good to see you guys. So I'm out. See you next week.